Hello, everyone. It's a huge privilege to be here and share my story, so thank you for having me. On October 7, I was at home just a few weeks after finishing 6 years in Sayeret Matkal. As rumors of an attack started spreading, 2 friends and I decided to go without being called. After an hour, we arrived at our base. At that point, I had no weapon or equipment. We just returned everything. I grabbed a bag, threw in whatever I could, a basic weapon, helmet, vest, and a Glock, ran to the car, and we just drove. After 20 minutes, our commander told us we were heading to Machane Re'im, the largest base near Gaza. It was already under Hamas control. At the entrance, we saw over 20 Hamas motorcycles. Just seeing it made you realize how bad it must be. It was the first time I saw so many dead bodies, dozens. For hours, we moved from building to building, breaking walls to reach soldiers hiding inside. Shots were fired constantly. In one shelter, we found over 15 girls and managed to get them out under fire. Then we went back in, fighting and evacuating 5 more soldiers. One trapped alone at a clinic for 8 hours, 2 drivers hiding in the rooms, and 2 others who survived in the initial attack. We were lucky. No one in my team was hurt yet. As the sun was setting, we were told reinforcements were needed in Kibbutz Be'eri. On the way, I've been told that Amir, a soldier I have trained, one of the most ardent people I knew, had been killed. It crushed me. And there it looked like hell itself. A beautiful kibbutz with lawns and streets now destroyed. Bodies everywhere. Tanks crushing what used to be walkways. When I arrived, a friend told me that Talco has been killed too. Tal Cohen, or Talco for me, was 30 years old, married to Natalie and father to 4, Tzur, Ivri, and Dror. His youngest son was born after he was killed. Talco was the kind of person who always led from the front, even when commanding 100 soldiers. He was one of the first to jump, physically protecting civilians in Kfar Aza and dying while saving lives. Tzur, his eldest son, was born blind, and yet Talco was the most loving, present father. Even when he came home at 1 a.m., he would hang Tzur's painting in his office, so proud of him. Just to give you an example of him, once during one of the most important operations of my service, I checked on him during a mission in a foreign country before the war. He grabbed my head, looked at me, and said, "Do you understand where we are? Look what we are doing, what a privilege we have." And I wish I could tell him, "Talco, what a privilege we have to have you. A hero, a role model, a man who has everything." It felt impossible to keep fighting knowing 2 close friends were gone. Back to Be'eri, we went to evacuate civilians from fortified houses inside the kibbutz. Some soldiers from the 7th Armored Brigade had taken heavy fire minutes before. 2 terrorists hidden in the bushes and opened fire, hitting several soldiers. They cried for help. It was dark. I started to run to them, but my commander yelled, "No one moves." It was an impossible moment. Civilians trapped and wounded soldiers calling out. We continued to the house, evacuated the civilians, and then an hour later, I lifted 2 bodies of armored soldiers into a vehicle. There are choices no person should ever face, and they never leave you. Our goal was clear: to rescue civilians still fortified in their homes. Houses were burning, bodies blocked to paths. It was the hardest moment of that day. We knew a family was trapped inside. As we approached, we came under fire. The commander decided to go in, and I volunteered to go first. I climbed the stairs, finger on the trigger, heart racing. I called "left is mine" and moved through the rooms. When I reached the balcony, no one was there. A weapon and magazines on the floor. We turned to the mamad, the safe room. When we opened the door, 7 people came out. A mother holding her 3-year-old, a moment of light in this darkest night. When we entered Gaza later, I joined one of the first ground forces from the north part of Gaza. Those first days were full of fear. You don't know what's waited for you or when you would come out. A few weeks in, we operated in an elementary school. The day before, we had discovered a tunnel running directly beneath it. We sent a dog inside. It came back 40 minutes later without reaching the end even. The dissonance was unbearable. One moment I was 20 meters underground in darkness, surrounded by walls. The next, I was placing explosives in classrooms with little chairs and children's drawings. We blew up the school. 3 rows grown in seconds. That image of these tiny chairs still haunts me. Reality has completely changed. The unity and clarity we had on October 7 are not the same anymore. Opinions are more divided than ever in Israel and here. People simplify everything into us and them, either or. But life is rarely that simple. Sometimes it's both. The truth of October 7 isn't up for debate. Evil chose destruction. The question isn't what Israel should do after such horror. It's whether we as humans can accept that kind of evil exists at all. Months later to the war, I kept asking myself, what's next? What's moral? What's right? I don't have the answers, but asking them shows how complex and personal this war is. I saw hundreds of Palestinian children walking with small bags toward nowhere after their homes were destroyed. If that doesn't hurt me, we lost our ways as Jews. And yet, it doesn't change the anger, the pain, or the fact that I will never forgive for what they did to us. It doesn't have to be either or, it can be both. That's our moral obligation, to live the tension between pain and compassion, revenge and restraint, survival and humanity. Even inside Israel, the struggle continues. Some soldiers simply can't go back to Gaza for another round. Even within my family, something that if I go back, I'm choosing the wrong path. But we don't have the luxury of either or. We have to live with both. 3 months ago, during the summer break, I joined a mission my unit had trying to complete for 7 months. The risk was enormous, but worth it. We succeeded and brought back critical intelligence about the hostages and the Hamas plans. I couldn't be prouder, even if it had cost my life. That too is part of the both. Eran Shalem, one of the most talented soldiers in my unit, was part of this mission that I took part on. Less than a month ago, during officer training, his vehicle hit an explosive device and he was killed. I'm honored to have known him, a brave, kind young man. This talk in memory of 3 incredible people, each of a world his own: Major Tal Cohen, Captain Amir Tzur, and Captain Eran Shalem. Zichronam livracha, may their memory be a blessing. I wish I knew how to end this endless war, what choices that would make today, but I do know one thing. The only thing that truly matters is to bring every hostage home. That is our duty as Am HaYehudi and our responsibility to every Jewish soul. Let's bring them home now.